Look, brother born king, servant of the people. Grateful to be here with the good people, the good brothers from Onyx Visions. We here, all the way live, you already know. From North Carolina to the Peach State, we here.
Let them know how the history and how you started.
So the foundation is Soul Society. That's our nonprofit organization, which is really a culmination of our journey. Me and my brother going out here, soul searching, trying to find our way, our value, and our lane in this world. What type of value and purpose we can activate in our life's journey, you know. And long story short, I'm transitioning out of high school, going into adulthood. I went to A&T, North Carolina A&T. And during that time, I didn't see any worth of value in myself. But when I went to A&T, and I had I had 3 computer classes because I was going for technology, just trying to get some money, not really purpose driven. I was just trying to figure out how I could make some money and survive and make a living. But I had an African American experience class as well. Shout out to Professor Stephen Ferguson. And I learned all these different parts of our history and the greater things, the greater accomplishments that we come from, the greater people that we come from. And I started to see that worth the value in myself. So that journey led me down the path of soul searching and realizing the power within my soul. A part of the chapter in my life where I was lost, not seeing no worth of value in myself, a part of it was because I was looking outside of myself for that worth of value. But once I activated and realized that that power was within me, I started to follow what was naturally flowing and vibrating within my soul. And from there, it led me down a path of understanding I need to start with the foundation of knowledge itself. Know thyself. We got a main quote that we push: know thyself, love thyself, and be thyself. And that was the foundation, you know, understanding knowledge itself led to understanding that we need to secure our basic needs of survival. When it comes to community building, nation building, family building, it starts with your ability to depend on yourself for your basic needs of survival. If you can't provide your basic needs, then that means somebody else has some type of jurisdiction and power over you. You know, so if you can't feed yourself, those who are feeding you can kind of dictate the terms that you will get your food on. You feel me? But instead, we took the power back to get back to the land, get back to nature, get back to giving that love and nourishment to the land, and therefore you get the return. So yeah, from there, it was a few years we established. Matter of fact, this is the 10-year celebration of our establishment of Soul Society. And the first 5 years, it was really about one day we're gonna get to some land where we can grow our food and establish our foundation. And during the pandemic in 2020 is when it was like, we can't just wait for one day, we need that now. So all the essentials being purchased off the shelf during the pandemic and so on and so forth. And it got to a point where I'm looking around like, damn, you can have $1 million and might not be able to purchase no good clean water right now. Not knowing we could get access to water source. We initially started to reach out to see who were the farmers in the region and how can we help them. Instead of waiting till we have our own, how can we connect with those who already have it and lend whatever value we can. So initially we were recommended connect with this particular land. This brother out here is building a self-sufficient community, got their own water source, growing food, so on and so forth. So from there I got the first visit and tour of the land, and I tried the water fresh from the spring for the first time, and it was like, ooh, I'm telling you, it was like the light bulb went off. The sunshine came right through the clouds, and it was like, this is it. And from there we just started to expand our knowledge of this water and the natural living water source that it is, what separates it and what brings the greater value compared to other water sources, and started to see how we could help lend our labor and our energy to this land development, you know. So from there we was helping with the gardening. I helped with some loads of the water and got my first load of water in the summer of 2020. And from there, we took it and ran with it, you know. So that's a whole foundation in itself. When I gave 2 days to the land this one particular week in June, July in 2020. I ain't asked what I was gonna get for helping, how much I'm gonna get paid. I just gave myself. When I was down to my last, I figured out how I could give to someone else, how I just could lend my labor force and my assistance. I got 20 free gallons for that, and by the time I got home and made my first initial post about this water being the first black-owned water company to get into a Walmart and the essential source that it was serving during this pandemic, the rest was history. Them 20 gallons was gone in like an hour, and by the time I got back to the land, I'm like, whatever I can fit in this car, my bad. Had a little small Toyota Corolla at the time. Whatever I could fit in this Toyota Corolla, I needed. You feel me? And I was able to get 80 gallons in there. Then we're gone in like 3 days. Came back, got 80 more, did it again. And it's been up ever since. We moved 500 gallons in that first month. And now here we are 5 years later, moving 500 plus gallons in a week. You feel me? So it's been a great journey, and I'm grateful to be a vessel, you know, to provide this resource and this knowledge every day.
So for those that don't know, the land you're sourcing from, you gave me a quick rundown. I'm giving them a brief history of the land that y'all are sourcing.
Yeah, so it's actually a black indigenous family-owned property, and it's right outside of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, in a little town called Yadkinville. And it's, like I said, a black indigenous family-owned land. You feel me? And a lot of us, we're not really aware about our history as black or melanated people in these lands well before the Europeans got here. You know, we were here. The black, indigenous, original man was here well before the Europeans got here. So this is a representation of that lineage, that heritage, that bloodline, and also representing the free ones, the ones that were never enslaved and in bondage. Now, there's been a lot of fights that took place on this land. It was way more of a landmass that was under their control than it is now, but nonetheless, we have hundreds of acres that we still have jurisdiction over, responsibility over, and we're activating our abilities to activate this land to do for ourselves, to feed and fuel ourselves, and to bring that nourishment, that access, that power back to our people. So they literally are still stewarding the land and keeping the foundation that we built civilization on from the beginning of the time, that was centered around what they say the first culture was agriculture, and the foundation is the food and the water, and we're bringing it back to the basics. A lot of us kind of get caught up in a lot of the high-minded, scientific, speaking over people's heads and speaking real scientific, but it's really basic. Secure the food and the water. Work the land, give your love and your energy to the land, and you get out of it what you put into it. You reap what you sow, literally and figuratively. So we sowing good seeds, we sowing with love, and we're receiving that love and nourishment back.
Alkaline water is real popular right now. What are some of the misconceptions about alkaline water and the difference between y'all alkaline water and some other stuff?
For sure. So one of the biggest things, first and foremost, what I tell people is more important than this being alkaline water is the fact that it's spring water coming from a living, moving, electric source. So people have the questions about spring versus wells. Well water is good if the quality of the land that it's in is good. The only thing is it's sitting water, so it can be easier compromised. But spring water is moving, so it's a natural filtration process from this water moving through the bedrocks that is naturally being filtered through, but also picking up those natural living minerals. So like I said, the first thing is the fact that it's coming from a living source, a living spring, life in the bottom. That's why we call it live, because it's living. You see a lot of waters that say added minerals. Obviously, that's a man-made synthetic process versus a natural, God's very own process. So you're getting the natural, living mineral source right here in this water, life in the bottle. And then as far as alkalinity goes, a lot of the waters that you see in stores that are alkaline, a lot of times it's tap water that they run through an artificial induced process to make it alkaline. Back to synthetic processing, artificial, chemical, and or mechanical induced processing versus God's natural very own. So this water is coming from a natural water aquifer, a rich crystal mineral based land coming off the foothills of the mountains of North Carolina. So it's got a rich mineral content that is naturally picking up and being mineralized and alkaline in this water, so we pride ourselves on the fact that it's naturally alkaline and mineralized. So yeah, that's the most important thing, natural living life source instead of man-made artificial induced process. As far as the alkaline goes, one of the good things is this is a moderate level because it's natural. A lot of the fixated man-induced alkaline waters is too high. So when you get in the waters 9.5 pH, it's too high. Unless your body is in an extreme acidic state, you don't need an extreme alkaline water. And the alkalinity is based on the pH scale. So 7 is neutral. Anything under 7 is acidic, above 7 is alkaline. But our bodies usually resonate around 7.1, 7.2 pH level. So you want something that's kind of close to your body level instead of something that's super extreme and throwing it out of whack and out of balance. So it's a good detoxifier, flushing out the toxins that hold fat and disease, boosting your immune system, boosting your metabolism, and overall they say a lot of us are minerally deficient because we're not really cognizant and conscious of what mineral content is in each meal that we have. So this water, and we do sea moss as well, those have been great ways for people to fill in the blanks, fill in the gaps for the missing minerals in the general diets that we have, so yeah, get your live water.
So you see that health is at the source of your business, or one of the sources of your business. How do y'all balance that with scaling a business also, being health conscious versus scaling the business also?
Right. So that's a good question, because another one of the issues with a lot of the major corporations is that their water is sitting. So even some of the ones that are spring waters and things of that nature, being that it's sitting for so long, 3, 4, 5, 6 months plus, it's losing some of the quality and some of the energy. Our water is bottled weekly, so it's a fresh type of production. And at the most, as we scale, it does become a thing where we got to figure out how do we store it and keep the substance. So we do still keep it to a few weeks, a month at the most. It'll be sitting, But long as you keep it in a good, cool environment, no direct heat or sunlight for a long period of time, it preserves a lot of the quality of the water. And then we also have BPA-free plastic. And then we also have glass options as well. So a lot of people, they love the glass. We got the glass for you as well. So it is one of the things, like I said, make sure that we preserving that good fresh quality. So we've been kind of focused on expanding in the southeast region, places that are kind of close to us to access. So it's coming fresh from us directly to the people.
Borderline on social media buzzing. When did it start to resonate with you that the water is kind of taking off? Like when you started, was there a point where you kind of feel it was like taking off?
Yeah, so it was a great foundation that we was able to come into. Like we said, it was the first black-owned water company to get into a Walmart. That was in 2018, and like I said, we connected in 2020. So it kind of had that great foundation that we was able to inherit and utilize that groundwork that was laid before us. And since we've been there in collaboration and partnership with the family and company, we've just brought all the value that we could. So a great foundation that we brought was the community that we had already established, and all the groundwork that we laid before, doing community work, youth education, art-based events. So we already had a rapport and a trust that was built. So as soon as we connected, it was just like a wildfire, because people were focused on their health and wellness in 2020, as well as on the back end of the George Floyd situation and the Black Lives Matter things that were happening. People were really focused on providing themselves with quality health and wellness. And then furthermore, since we've been pushing every day, one day at a time, one brick at a time, we've been able to connect with major influencers that have been able to add major value. Shout out to Blue Pill, one of the first ones with a great following that added a lot of value to the brand that we've been building. Shout out to Black Dot and Urban X, 19 Keys. And furthermore, when we connected with Earn Your Leisure, we were able to be the water sponsor for this past Invest Fest. And that led us to being on their podcast. And when we did the Earn Your Leisure podcast, as soon as that dropped, about a month and some change ago, it's been a whole nother level ever since. So we've been able to see great problems to figure out how do we meet the demand, the growing demand, and make sure that we're providing good quality service and meeting the people's needs in a timely manner. But the Earn Your Leisure podcast we did, it was a great connection, great platform. We were able to give great value and information, and the people resonated with that major, you know. So we've been, like, at this current point in time, we in a whole nother level of the scaling process. So those who come in on the ground floor with us now are going to be able to reap the benefits of what comes out of the next level and the next phase, you know. So we greatly appreciate y'all, you know, to come help document and highlight us. But yeah, we got major things in the works for sure. And yeah, it's all the way up from here. So now we just organizing our partnerships, the investments, and the next spokesman that's going to help really scale and push everything to the next level. So yeah.
That's kind of my next question. I wanted to ask you, where do you see what's next for Alkaline Water?
So one of the major things we're doing now over the past 5 years, we've been having like our major focus areas that we've built the rapport on, and now we're just working on our distribution hubs. So we're looking to establish like 8 to 10 distribution hubs over the next 6 months, mainly starting with, of course, we in North Carolina and all throughout North Carolina. We really from Charlotte all the way to the East Coast, more so Southeast, and we're working to expand to like Asheville. But outside of North Carolina, we got Richmond, Virginia, Richmond and Petersburg, Virginia. We got the 7 cities, Virginia Beach, and the 7 city areas. We actually about to activate our distribution hub there by like January. Richmond is kind of already brewing, but we're looking to get a more official establishment there. We do got some businesses there that have the water. Heal Thyself is one of the businesses there. And we're looking to get it in Croker Seafood. Then we got Northern Virginia, Alexandria. They kind of fed off of our PG County and DC hub. We got Philly. We're working on Baltimore and Wilmington, Delaware, New York City, which will feed New Jersey, that close New Jersey region, Atlanta. How can I forget? Well, I didn't forget. I was just working my way too. But Atlanta and DC are like prominent areas outside of North Carolina. So all y'all in DC, in Atlanta and DC, but Atlanta and surrounding areas, lock in, reach out, be one of the first distributors that are established here. Businesses, reach out. I'm telling you, we got a growing following. We got a great following now, but we got a growing following, and we just gonna feed, cross promo, and feed our following to y'all establishments. and then we working on Florida and Houston.
So, as black owners in the beverage space, what have been some of the hurdles y'all faced starting, and some of the hurdles you're facing now?
I would say one of the major things is scaling to a point where we can get the actual capital to make large purchases. For example, I ain't even gonna name no names, but there's one particular company that has glass bottles, and we looking at the price points, and we looking at the competition and what their actual processes are, what they doing to provide to the people, and I'm looking like, dang, they're selling their glass bottle for the price point that we would be charged to buy this same size glass bottle. We're talking about the empty glass bottle, plus the process of our labor and everything to go into getting the bottle filled and brought to the people. So it's like, dang, if they selling it for what we starting at just to get the bottle, how do we compete? But nonetheless, we don't worry about competing. We just worry about providing the best we can, first class service, and where we can't be matched is our personal connection with the community. So the love, the connection, the camaraderie, and the recirculation of the funds that go from us back into the people, back into our youth programs, back into the community we building, we can't be compared to no company. But that is one thing, just working to up the ante on our capital, whereas we might be buying 100 or even 1,000 bottles. These bigger companies might be buying about 1 million. So obviously they gonna get a different price point. But we coming. We gonna get our units by 1 million, so on and so forth. Other than that, I don't know that it's just our people. I'm sure it's a thing in all different cultures to deal with educating the people. But we do have a major portion where a lot of us are in the know of what this value is, and then we got a lot that we got to educate. But we embrace that. We love to be able to provide education to our people, to wake them up to a new knowledge and a new lifestyle that's going to enhance their selves and their families. So I don't look at it as problems, because we problem solvers. We analyze the problem, but we focus on the solutions. We solution oriented, so we just identify what we need to work on and how we can bring value to ourselves, our families, and our communities.
So you could say something to your supporters, people that have been supporting you on the way, or customers, what would that be?
Man, first off, I just say I greatly appreciate y'all for supporting. Every dollar we appreciate, every supporter we appreciate, all those who are buying products, all those who are coming to visit the land, those who are volunteering on the land, those who are helping us distribute the water and move it, those who are promoting the water and sharing with their family and their audience and their loved ones. We greatly appreciate y'all. This is a real foundational, grassroots built organization and company, and without the people, we wouldn't be able to expand and grow in the way we have, and we definitely are open to brand ambassadors. We exchange value, we exchange products, but a lot of people have just had this sheer love, and they respect what we're doing, they appreciate what we're doing, and a lot of people are just out of the love and kindness of their heart and the way they support what we're doing, they just for free share it with their people and their audience, and that's priceless, So we really have been able to thrive and expand just off the energy and the love of the community. But that's what we built on. This is from the people, for the people, and we are with the people. So whereas some of these other companies and corporations, for one, you probably would never see their source. Definitely won't be able to go to their source. And for two, we don't know what they doing with their money. You may spend that money with them, never to be seen again. But with what we got going on, you see constant growth and development. You come, just even what we doing to feed and fuel the company and the family land. the more we sell, the more we come back to the land, and one day we see 10, 20 fruit trees that are at the land to plant. We see a new building that might come out to the land for us to do some type of activation. We got a farmer's market that we've been able to purchase some more land and another building to establish our weekly farmer's market every Saturday. The bigger than the farmer's market. So it's just been a beautiful grassroots built from the people for the people. And yeah, I'm grateful for y'all, and it's only up from here, so stay tuned.